Hey, I'm Carol Ann Gilliard, CEO of Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm sending you a message to our members as part of our ongoing social media strategy. We are celebrating 30 years here at Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador this year, so we are going to be using this medium to ensure that all of our members right throughout the entire province have access to the communications of what's happening at Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador. And now is the time when we need to share a lot of important messages about the work that's being done at our organization. So I'm going to give you a high-level assessment of where we've been for the past few years, where we are right now in light of the recent budget, and where we're going in the next few months to get us back on track for the vision for 2020. So where we were. We have just finished the first phase of the Tourism Vision Uncommon Potential, which was a private-public partnership agreement for Vision 2020 to generate $1.6 billion in tourism spending by that year. We have reached the goal of $1 billion on our path to 2020, and we reached it in 2012 ahead of where we thought we'd be. So we have a lot to be proud of here in the tourism and travel industry in Newfoundland and Labrador. We're making great strides to support a big growing provincial economy, and we're doing it in a way that we're developing an industry that's sustainable for the entire province. So there's no mistaking we're on the right path. We've done a great deal of studying and research and collaboration and looking outward into what's being done throughout the world on sustainable tourism, and there is no doubt that we're on to something special here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Our marketing strategy is the strongest it's ever been, and imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and we are being imitated all over the world. Our decision-making model that we have here is also being watched very closely, and we have a private-public partnership arrangement, and that's been working very well for the past 4 years. We're establishing what our priorities are. We are understanding what everyone's role is, and we are hitting the ground running with those roles, and we're doing a lot of collaboration to ensure that we're focused on the priorities and we're performing together. So there's a lot of great things happening in Newfoundland and Labrador tourism and travel infrastructure to meet the demands of a growing provincial economy. So where are we right now in light of the recent cuts in the budget? And it's not just the 30% cut to marketing investment that has impacted the tourism industry. There have been cuts in other departments and areas, and there's also taxes that have risen that are making it a bit more difficult for tourism and travel organizations to compete. Our leadership team has worked very hard over the past number of weeks to really get a good sense of what our industry is feeling right now and where we need to go. There is a great deal of confidence in the industry, and there is a lot of momentum. We don't want to lose that momentum, and there's no reason why we should. We're on a good path. We have a solid vision. We are working towards long-term goals with a balance on all areas of importance. So we want to keep focused on that. So we are going to be working in the next couple of months to renew our commitments with the provincial government as far as it relates to our tourism vision that we've already established for 2020. We have made a request to make a presentation to the Economic Policy Committee, and so that is our focus right now, is to meet with our political leaders to ensure that we are all still on the same path for 2020 for a sustainable tourism industry. So there are going to be 3 key areas of work and commitments that we need from the provincial government. They are in marketing, access, and product development. We are the leaders of marketing. We are being followed. Our model is being imitated. We need to be competitive with our competition in the industry. So we need to get back up to the competitive marketing investment and back on track with our marketing strategy in 2014. We also need to have some big picture planning around access and transportation as far as it relates to the supply and demand model. We're seeing pipelines and bottlenecks in certain areas. That's a direct result of the need for big picture supply and demand formula planning. And we need strategic investments in product development, and we need a commitment to big picture resource management planning. We're talking about areas like East Coast Trail and Grossmoor National Park as vital tourism assets, valuable assets, not just for the tourism industry, but for the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. Those places are our place. So we want to protect those areas and ensure we're making long-term decisions in the best interest of Newfoundland and Labrador. Last week, former U.S. President Bill Clinton spoke at a World Tourism and Travel Conference, and he said that he was fundamentally optimistic about the power of tourism to change the world. He said, as leaders of this industry, you have a great deal of responsibility to use this power. I predict that over the next 20 years, the travel and tourism industry will lead a re-examination of our energy industry policies. The fact that you have such a stake in a global, stable environment gives you enormous credibility. I believe that by simply expanding tourism in ways that promote sustainability, this reminds people of our common humanity. This is what we believe at Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador. That was what we believed when we established the vision for 2020, and that's what we still believe, and that's what we're working towards. What can you do as members of Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador? We want you to be engaged. If I haven't answered every question that you have, ask me your questions and I will tell you. Be engaged with our membership. hnl.ca has a listing of our members. We want you to follow us and each other on Facebook and Twitter. And we want you to connect with your peers to ensure that you have all of the information that you need. We hope you share your personal vision for what you see for tourism, because it's an important voice and face that we need to have in Newfoundland and Labrador. We are a collective of businesses and organizations, but we are a collective of storytellers, and we need to tell the good story, the good stories that we have here. We are going to be keeping you up to date as best we can as we work towards a meeting with the Economic Policy Committee. But please don't hesitate to contact us here at Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador. If you have questions that need to be answered, please rest assured that we are working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we get back on track with not just the marketing strategy, but with the whole collective vision that we have, private and public partnership for the tourism industry. Thank you.